So we are looking at getting into this space, and this is going to be a focus for the years that are coming. And as we look ahead, we are glad that this topic has come up, and it's going to be addressed today. We'll be listening keenly. And of course, this means we're going into new territory. But I think from what has happened with the Uganda Youth Forum over the years, we're in a good position to provide a core team that can move in this direction. So once again, thank you very much for being part of this meeting today, those who are joining us online and those who are present. And we are very glad that we have this partnership, which will also leverage in the directions that we are taking ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Magara, for your wonderful words to us. To our audience online, feel free to share some of the things that you're picking from our speakers, even as they speak. It would be nice to hear what you are learning and what you're picking, perhaps what you take away and apply to your everyday life. But also feel free to ask questions to our speakers, and hopefully we'll have those answered. So thank you once again, Dr. Magara. And we're going to introduce our next speaker. I'll ask him actually to come up to the podium. Our next speaker is a widely respected and notable speaker. He's been to international conferences organized by the UN, World Bank, and African Union. He's the founding executive director of Enterprise Uganda, the country's premier business management institution. He has over 25 years in micro, small, and medium enterprise development here in Uganda and Africa. He is the first president of Enterprise Africa and holds board directorships in banking, education, and NGO startups. He holds an MBA and MSc in investment analysis from the UK. Please join me in warmly welcoming Mr. Charlse Ocici.
Thank you so much, Master of Ceremony, or MC. I want to thank the organizers of this second youth convention hosted by Mama. Thank you to Uganda Youth Forum. Thank you to Uganda Christian Lawyers Fraternity. I thank the leading and senior justice for being part of this. Doctor, thank you for being in the game for such a long time and keeping at it. And to the young people today, thank you again for sticking to this kind of approach to seeing how to get yourselves supported. I have been given a topic of entrepreneurship, a critical skill for the 21st century. A critical skill for the 21st century. It pays for me to give you a small background on what I've been doing. When I left university, I went straight into the banking industry. Starting in Uganda, then proceeded. In Uganda, I went up to the point when I was the head of the biggest credit department in the country. And I saw the establishment of some of the biggest investments that we're having today. One of them has disappeared, that's the Assembly Investments. But some are still there, including QI Industries. I was part of the story of the establishment. Then I went to work in PTA Bank, where I was now offering business loans to the Comesa region. And in there I saw business people of all colors, Asians, European, Africans coming to the continent. to make a living and to transform the continent. I came back from Nairobi to start an organization called Enterprise Uganda. Today it is 20 years on the ground. It has touched lives of 153,000 Ugandans. 153,000 Ugandans. A majority of those are young people. Here is a topic I've been at since my post-university days and since the 20 years of Enterprise Uganda. So I will try in the short time that I have to distill aspects about this game, having seen Asians, Europeans, Africans from all parts of the make it in this game. And my slide first begins by saying there are some prospects for the African youth. There are a lot of prospects. And this is because Africa is the next frontier for investment and great returns. Did you know that if you bought at the peak season, the price is 500 shillings a kilo? Give the same maize grain 3 months, the price will be 1,000. You get 100% in 3 months. Where else will you get that in the world, and which commodity? Which one? It's happening in Africa. And all the maize that you have kept well for 3 months will be taken. It will all be taken. 90 days of looking after the grain well will give you a return of 100%. It happens every year, and the maize scarcity happens every year, and we live in the same country, and we keep on saying we are the least advantaged. Many foreign investors come to this continent with limited capital, and note that word very well. They bring their youth, they bring their grit, they bring their energy to make great wealth. It's the only continent where returns that I've just mentioned do exist. And you don't need to talk about oil, you don't need to talk about gold, you don't need to talk about innovation. Just a maize grain. Just a maize grain. The continent is the youngest in the world, and therefore it is most blessed with what it takes to be an entrepreneur, the vibrant people. In the case of Uganda, we are 77% a population comprising people below the age of 25%. That's a blessing. That's an asset. That's a gift. Why? Most leading local entrepreneurs started as young people. They began with what they had, where they were. Watch my words. They were young people like you, 22 years, in villages, some of them not even speaking English, starting where they are with what they had. Related to this message, I want to say, the word youth is a phase in life. It is transitory. It will pass, and it must pass. Ocici was once the youth. I passed there. It's gone. You're on the way. You are going to pass there, and it will go. Your children will tell you, Daddy, please don't call yourself a youth again. It's now our time to be in that space. Move on. So, if this phase is transitory, my advice is this. Any support that you receive at this phase, at this age, should prepare you for a world of independence. A world where people will be saying, you went through school, we are no longer asking about your degree. What's the solution you are selling? What are you selling? Don't tell me I was the best in the class. Don't tell me, I went through school with a lot of hardship. I want milk at 8 o'clock. The party is due. Give me the liters. The world of independence, the world of adults is looking for solutions. In that world of adults, what determines whether or not you get and keep a job or you start and build a business is ultimately that single word, customer. You have a job, whom are you serving? Are they happy? The boss who is employing you will retain you, because if you serve a customer well, the boss will be in good state and will protect you, will look after you, will want you, irrespective of your tribe. The word is customer. Any boss who forgets that word and wears another prism will lose the job. Because that entity, that organization, will be useless and irrelevant. That business, no matter how much capital you go to and wherever you got it, we don't come to you because you went to a bank and you got a loan. We don't come to you because you went to convince parliamentarians and they allocated you money. We come to you because there's a solution you are selling and it meets my personal selfish interest. Customers do not ask for age of a seller of a solution. They never do it, and never will they do it. They look for value for their money, for their time, and for their emotion. Look after the need for their money. Make their time as valuable as possible. Make their emotions as proud as possible. They come to you. They will never ask, where you were born, which country, and where you went for school. Look, I came from another part of Africa. We storm and crowd in Javas. We don't even ask who owns this place. You simply say, please go to Javas. You want a good breakfast, please go to Javas. The owner were not bothered. The feeling, the joy of eating there drives you to go back there. But before I give you the key points that make people to win in the private sector, let me first talk about jobs in the era of the 21st century. Robotics, artificial intelligence have caused the value of these jobs to diminish. Professional jobs, traditional jobs are no longer the way they used to be. And the most classic example in our midst today is the banking industry. Little did you know that you would go to a place called Boise, and it's littered with every outlet saying, there's centenary here, there's Diamond Trust here. There's, in a small area, somebody saying, I have all the banks here. You got a qualification as a banker, you are trying to go for an interview. These kiosks have taken over those jobs, and they are doing a good job. Get ready for that kind of dynamism. And it is happening in many other areas, including in the accounting profession. The other thing about the job market today is most entry jobs, the pay is not commensurate with the investment you made as a student when you were going to school. Consider this. $20,000. If you save 20,000, 20,000 times 12 is a saving of 240,000. I've been given an opportunity to speak freely, and I hope, since we are all vaccinated and we are negative, this is an opportunity for me to be myself. So thank you so much. I was giving you an illustration of somebody who gets a job today, if you are lucky, of 400,000 a month. You do all it takes to save 20,000 per month, and you have spent 12 million to get that job. At the end of the year, you have saved 240. How many years do you need to work saving 240,000 per year to recoup the 12 million? If you divide the 12 million by 240,000, it's 50 years. That is what it takes to recover the cost of the degree. 50 years. If you do not invest that money you saved, you can see how much it cannot do much. But if you later listen to what I'm going to be saying, that 20,000 per month, you give it 5 years, it will be 2 buses. And the people who have trained have gone that route. But if you're just saving it and you're not investing it, you are not entrepreneurial, forget about it. You need 50 years to recover the 12 million. Now, at the age at which you left university,
to the 50 years. What age will you be when you are recovering the cost of education? It's 25 plus 50. You will be at 75 as you are recovering the investment we made on you. So all I'm saying here is no matter what direction you take, it is invariable, inevitable for you to get started with investment and expanding the resources in your hands. Also, here's the other picture about the jobs today. Should you get such a job, most often it is routine, it's dull. You are a teller in a bank. I'm not saying this is a bad job, but if you don't wear the right mindset, you will just see it as routine and dull. You're a pump attendant, we are giving you 400,000, and people are lining to take that job. Now, because you have a degree, you feel very quickly bored with that job. And what happens to you? Non-promotable material. You will be the first for us to throw out. You with a degree, you with a diploma, the fellow with a P7 qualification goes the same job, does the pump job with a good work ethic, and you know what? He gets promoted. He will be your boss. And that is additional demotivation and lethargy on a young person who has gone through school. Evidence of this is just check the kind of people today who are being dismissed, removed, when there are dismissals in organizations. It's young people with education. Either laziness or fraud or simply failure to focus on the job because of the things I just mentioned. Salary looks small, the job looks routine and dull, and the mind winds away and goes into something unproductive. I, however, want to make a point here that today we have gotten a very